Okay, so here's the challenge. Processing computing. Yes. Here is the challenge. I am going to start from scratch. You see here, start from scratch, and I'm going to create a trend line. So again, this video may not be for folks who are more interested in where the entries are or the logic. Right now, we're just literally going to create a trend line. So this is probably more so for the coders or somebody who's interested in starting with coding. And so again, whether or not you're using Tradestation or Tradestation uses easylanguage. Think or Swim uses ThinkScript. And I don't know if you can create trend lines with ThinkScript. Maybe not. But either way, when you're looking at the logic of creating counters and that kind of thing for this coding, a lot of this applies to any of the other platforms that you guys may be using to code with. Again, I'm using Tradestation and I'm using easylanguage. So what I'm going to do here today, right now, is I'm going to, as quickly as I can, write this script for trend lines. Trend lines require multiple pieces. It requires creating objects. It requires finding the points, the points of condition, the condition points. It requires having multiple variables, having counters again. So there's a lot with it. So making a trend line is not super easy, but I've done a few in the last couple of days. And then I was going to record this video, and I didn't get it right. And I tried 3 times and I didn't get it right. And then I had to sit there and look and study, and I finally figured it out. So I'm going to try it one more time. So this is not necessarily the 4th time recording, but this is my 2nd go at recording. So here goes. All right. So, and again, just for reference, I typically look at the SPY, ES, futures, options, that kind of thing. So I'm pretty much just looking at like the S&P 500. All right, so for the SPY, we have to use using EL system, And I'm not going to talk throughout the entire thing because that does take away from my thinking. So I may just kind of mumble and stuff. See, I'm already messing up. But otherwise, just know I'm here. Just know I'm doing it. Okay. So we know we don't need a swing high, and we're going to call that the variable swing high, and then that's going to be that instance price strength length. Instance price is the high. Strength will be, we'll call it strength, and the length will be strength plus 1. Okay. Now, if swing high is greater than 0, then swing, I spelled that wrong, high P equals swing high, else swing high P is equal to swing high of a bar ago. Okay, we're going to go back and fix that. Okay, so now that we have our levels for the swing high, we want to say if swing high P is different from the last bar of swing high P, count H. So we have new swing high. Now we want to define the criteria that we're going to use to draw the trend line. So we want to have a lower swing high than the one before. So swing high P is less than swing high P a bar ago, and count H is greater than or equal to 2. This is the part that I messed up at before. I kept saying if count H is equal to 2, it needs to be greater than or equal to 2. Then begin let's see, then we're going to do trend L equals create going to use bar number point. For that, we'll need the bar number currently plus the max bars back minus 1 minus strength of the swing minus count S, which is counting how many bars are in the span. So up here we need to also say count S plus equal to 1 because it's steadily counting every bar. All right, and then this is for the second data point. For the trend line, point.create, I'm going to do the bar number that currently is plus max bars back. We have to do this because it's referencing the zero base value of bar number. So bar number plus max bars back minus 1 minus strength, which is the length of the swing high. Okay, and then the high there would just be strength, which is the length of the high. Close that for the second data point. Close that for the trend line creation. Colon. Now we want to drawing objects. Add trend L. Close that. Now we'll say trend L dot extend right equals true. Yep. And we also want to lock that so the position doesn't move on the chart when the trend lines are drawn. That'll be true. Okay, and then for the count H, for counting how many new swing highs we have. I should probably start making that count in. Count new. Count H, we want to make that 0 because now we've used that second data point and we need to reset it. And then we can end that. And then after we end it, we want to also reset count S, which is the span, because whether or not we use, if we went to the second data point, we've used the span. We've used count S. So we need to I didn't get my high in there. All right, so we have the bar number here, and then for the high is going to be of how many bars back? Strength bars back plus count S bars. Oh, that's what I did. I got sidetracked and I went and put count S up there. And then close that parentheses for that first data point. Okay, we got count S. Count S. Now make sure that we have our variables declared. I usually do this as I'm going. I saw somebody the other day mention that they make theirs afterwards, and I think that's not a bad idea because you do get sidetracked coming up here every 2 seconds making new variables. So we had count S, count H, we had strength, we had swing high, and we had swing high P, and we had a trend line, trend L. That was null. And I think that was it. Verify that. Boy, whoa, what's going on? Man, look at all that. Well, I think that's because I didn't define strength. I said it at 0. So we're going to move that to 10. Verify it. Okay, so I thought I had it first shot. Apparently I don't. What is all this extra banana stuff here? All right, so let's see. Swing high is swing high with an I. If swing high is greater than 0, then swing high Okay, there. If swing high, then swing high with a P equals swing high with an I. Else swing high with a P equals swing high with the P, not with an I. Put the P there. Verify. Still not right. Okay. All right. So now we always want to be adding to the count S because that's our span. That's when if swing high with a P is different than swing high with a P a bar ago, then we want to count H, add to count H. Okay, now swing high P is less than swing high P of a bar ago, and count H is greater than 2, then we're going to begin trend line. Oh, I see it. This. If this happens, then we want to begin drawing the trend line. And this needs to be within that too. This needs to be within there. But count S does not need to only be reset if you have a new trend line. It needs to be reset anytime you have a new swing high. But you can't reset it before you use the count S here. Here you use the value of count S to store it there. So you can't reset it until you get down here. And if you reset it within here, then it will never be reset unless you got a new trend line. And again, we need to reset this thing every time we have a new point, a new high. So we have to say if swing high P is different from swing high P a bar ago, then count S equals 0. Boom. Okay. Got it. All right, we worked through that thing. We worked through that logic. We worked through it. We got through it. Okay, very good. All right, so this is, and that one over there, I actually didn't do quite right. So this is good. And I did it in, I don't know, it'll be less than 10 minutes. Yeah, right at 10 minutes, 12 minutes or so. Okay, so let's pull that back up. And then there's a couple things that you can do that I learned how to do last night. And I said on my video last night that I would figure out how to make a label, and we got it. We got it. So you have to do trend L dot show time span. If you want to do time span, you can do that, or you can do bar count, and then you'll do equals true. Now, once I verify that, it won't show up immediately. Okay, it doesn't show up immediately. You actually have to go to trend L dot show labels true for it to show up, which is crazy. You know, again, like I said, there's not a lot of textbooks on this stuff. You just kind of learn it, and I'm making notes along the way, so when I get hung up, I'll be able to come back to my notes and see what's going on. All right, so pretty much this is saying when this trend line gets drawn, the trend line, just clicked on it. And when I clicked on the trend line, it's locked, right? So it won't move. But you see that big square there and that big square there? These are the two data points that created the trend line, right? So what I could do is I could go back here, and where it says extend right, we're going to make that false, okay? And then now the trend lines don't extend, right? They just go from boop to boop to boop. Okay. So, but if you're trying to use the trend lines to trade like a breakout, you know, harder to do on the tick chart, you know, or not as reliable, I would say, on the tick chart. But let's see. We'll put true there. We'll move this like to the 1 minute time frame, and then you'll be able to see better what you can do with the trend lines. All right, so I've got trend lines everywhere here. That's also because this day starts at 9 o'clock here, and we have trend lines coming from these other days, right? They're just kind of continuing to come over to the right. And then that's the problem there. It clutters your chart. So what you can do is you want to only plot stuff if it is today, right? So you use the date function. So you would say if swing high is less than swing high of a bar ago and count H is equal to 2, you'd say, and the last calculated date on the chart is today. While you have the chart open, the last calculated date is equal to date. And then verify that. Last calculated date. Tell you what, my computer is getting a little bit slower here, so it must mean that it's close to quitting time. All right, so last calculated date is equal to date. You see, now you're only getting stuff from today, probably from 12 a.m. on, right? You know, you could always do for today. You see, you have there that you got stuff showing up in the pre-market hours. That's fine, but if you don't want that, then you keep this last calculated date is equal to date, and time is greater than 9:30. Now, if you did the time is greater than 9:30, then stuff from yesterday would also show up because it'd be after 9:30, you know. So that space, verify, and now the bars are only going to show up when the time is after 9:30. Look at that one. I mean, that was, you know, yeah, it's a trend line. It met the criteria for these two data points, but it's, you know, it's the double top, right? It's the double top. And if you look at my other, if you look at the other script that I made last night, you'll see that what is it on the spot here? I got that script that we made last night for the short or to exit along. It gave us an indication right here, and then came up, retested, and then shot down for the day. Okay, so scripts are helpful. But how good is this, right? Look at this. Bam. Right? Showed up here, our first dot for our swing high. What did we say? I think we said 15 bars on each side. Here's our second dot. But now this dot didn't show up. It would not show up until, let's see, we said 10 bars. So it would not show up until 10 bars. So from here to wherever 10 bars is, I don't know, right in here. I tell you, my computer is just getting so slow, I'm gonna have to cut it loose and give it a break for the day. My baby been good to me. And it's literally slowing down to nothingness. Let's turn this off. Turn some stuff off. See if it helps. Okay. Where is my logo? There it is. I've been operating without my logo this whole time. Okay. All right. So I lost my. Okay. There we go. All right. So that is 24 bars. All right. So where's 10 bars? 10 bars. It's close to here. Right. So this is our second data point right here. So this trend line would not have shown up right here. It will only show up after you get 10 bars out, right? But so at this point, while you're watching the chart, at this point, this bar would have showed up. And then you got from here to here to wait, right? Because now it crossed it on this bar. Not only did it cross it, but, you know, depending on what you're doing with your technical analysis, if you actually do much with technical analysis, I don't know. But you had time to look and see if that looked valid. You had time to look in that box to see if that looked valid. You saw all this. You saw all this hesitation to slide down, and then you got this little bit of a box here. Do you take that break? I don't know, but if you would have took it, you would have had roughly that as your risk, that is a reward. 0.42% change for the reward. 0.07% risk. Right? 7 to 42. I'm no math wizard, but that's roughly 6. Now I'm going through the math and I'm like, you know what? I hope I'm right. I am. It took me a while. I'm telling you, I've been doing this for a while today, so I'm about burnt. You know, my computer's about burnt. I'm about burnt too. So 1 to 6 risk to reward. That ain't bad, folks. That ain't bad. All right, so the market is closed for the day. It just closed. You don't have to do this on just a 1 minute time frame. You can do this on multiple time frames. Let's see what it looked like on the 5 minute time frame. On the 5 minute time frame, is we had the dot here and here, and now it's approaching this descending trend line. Only thing about the trend line now is this looks more like a trend line that it will respect. It looks like this is in a place where it pulled back nicely, it did a double bottom. It looks like it will respect this trend line now. I don't know that it's going to shoot through it because you had so much space to the downside. Your demand was so much lower. Whereas if you were on the 1 minute time frame, when you look at this line, this demand is so close to this line before it breaches, right? And also here, the demand is closer in to the line before it breaches. Whereas on that 5 minute time frame, you're so far away. Crazier things have happened though. Crazier things have happened. So anyway, guys, I successfully got through this. I'll have to do something like this later, just with another personal challenge to myself. But then I think the other thing do we have it on this? Yeah, okay, so you see we have as far as the time span, we have the hours there. So what I want to look at now is whether or not I can make various calculations and make it show up as the label here. I don't know that I can. I don't think I can. But I want to make various calculations and make them show up here. Dog is barking in the background. Yeah, I mean, I know it's time to go. So one of the things I've done down here is I've calculated like the time span across multiple trend lines, and I'm gonna use that information. And actually, I'm thinking about taking this data and copying it and then moving it over to Excel. So I'm gonna start taking some data from Tradestation and extrapolating it to a file. And I know that there's a way that I can do that with the code to automatically make it come over. But if I can take some of that data and push it over in Excel, and then I can really do a lot more with it in terms of making graphs and really be able to see what I'm working with. Because it's hard to see anything but these trend lines, right? And I know you can make indicators, but anyway, I'm kind of a computer science kind of a guy. I ended up doing healthcare as my primary profession, but I'm definitely a computer science guy, nerd, whatever. But we're gonna get this thing. And it's gonna pay off. It's gonna pay dividends. So I hope that you guys got something from this quick little video. Like I said, primarily this is for the folks who are interested in coding. They're interested in the logic, or they want to see again how trend lines and that kind of thing can be of your benefit to like augment your trading. But I don't know. I mean, this thing is trying to move over now. That's a huge risk to reward, though. I mean, it really is. But anyway, I'll let you make your own strategies. Whoa, that thing wicked up. Did it just wake up like that? Anyway, guys, I'm Eric. I'm out. Peace.